What up, YouTube? And today I have a video by Bill Feezzyy. Now, if you watch my Jay Williams video, you know who this is. I kind of like said it a little bit in that video, but Bill Feezzyy, I feel like I connect with more. He's down south. He wasn't incarcerated in Virginia. He was incarcerated in Georgia, I believe. And I met, not met, but I got on to Bill and Jay around the same time. And I fuck with their stories, man. Let's get into it. This is a story about how a man got killed over a TV. I don't know how we gonna get there, but
What up,
we
though?
gonna
What
see.
up, though? My name Bill. For those of y'all who don't know me, I'm known for my comedy on YouTube.
Oh, and Bill has to. Sometimes he talks with not slang, but like obviously he can't say like knife, so he says candy bar and stuff like that. You see throughout the
And
video.
TikTok from when I was in prison. I'm coming on here today to just tell y'all a little prison story about, for people in the free world, what would seem so petty, but that's so big and so important, or could be so dangerous in prison, about, just certain things I've seen. I was in the Georgia prison for 9 years. I just got out about a week ago or so, like that. And
Damn,
I sat in the county jail for like 10 months.
got a week
And
ago.
then I went into the actual
Do a
diagnostic
video.
center. When I was in the diagnostic center, this old school cat, he had did like 20 years before. And then he got out and he ended up catching another murder or something. And they gave him life without
Parole.
Now, the difference is, on a life sentence in Georgia, if they sentence you to life, that means a minimum of 30 years before you become eligible
For parole.
for parole. And the thing that's so dangerous about that is so like a trick, because it's like, okay, you want me to do 30 years before I become eligible for parole. But the game they play that's so dangerous is, if I'm 18 years old and I get a life sentence, you telling me before you become eligible for parole, you're going to be 48 years old. So at 18 coming in prison with a life sentence, nigga, you might be off the chain. You know what I'm saying? You might be doing all kind of little shit. So just say you get into a fight or whatever the case, or you get caught with a phone or something. And then once your 30-year mark hit, and you like, hell yeah, I done calmed down, I'm ready to go home.
Hell
And they
nah.
tell you some bullshit like, 20 years ago, you got into 2 fights and got caught with a phone, so we gonna push your parole off 3 more years because we don't know if you ready for society again, And stuff like that, those are the type of games they play with people.
That's bullshit, gang. That's bullshit. Ain't no way you gonna keep me in here for some shit I did 20 years ago. If that's the case, address it right then. But then they need a reason to keep you in there.
So, man,
Keep
sometimes
them taxpayer
people
dollars
never
coming.
make it out that shit. But if they say life without possibility of parole, it's pretty much over with. Unless, you get you a pretty good lawyer on your case and they find some loopholes or whatever the case is, and they could probably get them up out of there like that.
Ain't much of those, though.
But it was a guy, I'll never forget this guy. He was a Muslim. He was a Muslim guy. He like I said, he had just did 20 years. He was probably out for about 8 or 9 months. And then he caught a murder charge and they gave him life without. Now, this was my first time. My only, prior to that, any form of incarceration was the 10 months that I told you I had did in the county jail. So now I'm in the actual diagnostic prison. I was there for 13 days. And it was time for me to get transferred off to a real prison where it's not diagnostic. This the prison I'm gonna be stationed at.
Right.
And I was talking to this old school guy before I left that night, and he told me, he said, listen, I'm gonna tell you, just from my experience, one of the main things I want you to try to stay away from is the TVs. So I was thinking, like, the TVs?
You don't touch no TVs,
What the hell
gang.
you mean? He was like,
I
nigga,
know
you
what
could
he
lose
getting
your
at.
life about So I'm like, nigga, I could lose my life out trying to watch TV. The fuck? It sounded crazy to me, but I was taking into consideration his experience now. So he
Don't put
got
you
to
on
know
game.
something he talking about. You see what I'm saying? He kept telling me it's a trick box. It's a trick box. They call it the trick box. They call it the trick box. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I finally get to the prison I'm going to. You know, I'm starting to kind of see what it's all about. Real dangerous, violent prison. I think it was marked #1 as the most violent prison in the state of Georgia for a long time. So one night they had I think some guys was trying to watch the game. Now they got small TVs, probably like 32-inch size TV. Maybe even if it is 32-inch, it might be a little smaller than that. But I'm gonna just say 32 just to be safe. In this particular prison I was at, it was only 2 of them in the dorm. Now you got a 96-man dorm, okay? It's 96 people that lives in this one dorm, and 2 TVs that they gotta share. So when I first peeped that, I had kind of got a slight understanding of what the old school guy was telling me, because I could see the potential problems from the beginning. But, you know, I had never experienced it, so I just gotta let it. I just gotta see certain things for myself. So I had seen little small conflicts before, like this guy sitting here trying to watch this, but this guy want to watch something else, and we only got 2 TVs for 96 grown men. Now what people used to do is they'd take like a little note, they'd take like a little piece of paper probably about that big, and they'll put a little piece of tape on it, or they'll take some toothpaste and stick it on the back of it and stick it on the side of the TV. And they'll put like if I'm trying to watch something tonight at 8 o'clock, just say wrestling. We're going to use that for an example. Because a lot of people in there be watching that. Why? I don't know. I never really seen. When I was a kid, I used to love wrestling. Rock, Stone Cold, Triple X. But when I got older, I just lost it. I wasn't into it no more. Especially not in prison, because it's just weird. Like, I'm around dudes. These dudes on here with these little tights on. You know what I'm saying? It's just something I wasn't interested in watching. I don't even watch it now that I'm out, but that's not knocking it if somebody else want to watch it. I'm just saying I wasn't into it.
I got you.
Like if it's earlier in the day, and I know it's something that's coming on tomorrow or later tonight at 9, 10 o'clock, I'll go look at the TV. You got to look at all the notes on it, make sure ain't nobody got nothing on there for that specific time. So what they'll do, I might put WWE 8 p.m. Saturday, and I take it and stick it on the side of the TV. So that was kind of a structure for people can watch what they want to watch without it being no type of conflict. Because if you want to watch something, you need to put your sticker up there. But sometimes people don't be respecting it, or they might, you know, they might have forgot to put their sticker up, but they feel like what they trying to do or what they trying to watch is more important than what you trying to do or you trying to watch. That's just the danger in it. So one night I was sitting there, we was watching a show called, I believe this was 2016. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe it was late 2016 or early 2017. That's when one of Tyler Perry's shows called, I believe it was called The Haves and Have-Nots.
I remember that.
And we were sitting there watching. There was a lot of people sitting there watching. So
that shit was good.
One dude came up, and the remote was just sitting like on the bench, and he grabbed the remote, and he changed it to, it was some type of game on. I think it was some type of Falcons game or something that was on or something. So everybody went to tripping, you know what I'm saying? Like, hell no, bro, we was watching that, woo-da-woo-da-woo. And this was a big dude. He kind of was like, he kind of considered himself like to be the dorm bully or something. You know, he the loud one, always trying to, like, he run things. So, you know, he go to screaming, turning up, like, nigga, I'm watching you. Y'all know the game, woo-da-woo-da-woo. So everybody like, nigga, we been watching this. So, you know, he trying to make an issue. Now he trying to take it somewhere else. Like, man, I don't give a damn about none of that. Now, some people take that to heart. I think the reason I never took a lot of stuff in prison to heart like that is because I always knew I'm getting out one day.
Right.
And I always knew this shit not permanent. This shit not mine. I don't own this shit. And I don't want no issues about no bullshit like no prison TV.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So, dude did that one night, and you know a few people that was talking shit, they just walked away mumbling stuff and stuff like that. So,
it's like I said in the J Will video, niggas that got life have nothing to lose. They on that, bruh. They on it.
I kind of started to understand why they called it a trick box, because like for a guy like me that only had 9 years and I'm surrounded by people that got life sentences, far as the timing of your life, they feel like they got nothing to lose.
Mm-hmm.
I had a lot to lose, because if I do something to you about this bullshit ass TV and you kill me, or if I catch more time in prison, that's why it's called a trick box. Can you imagine how your family would look at you from the outside, nigga? You just caught more time about a punk ass TV when you was supposed to come home and be in a nice house and be free, be with your family. So I started to understand exactly why they called it a trick box. So they brushed it off that night. So over the weekend, this same particular dude had he had did that again like twice on different programs. So one night I was standing on the top rail. That was usually my favorite spot. I don't even like being on the bottom range. Every time I go in the dorm, I try to find a room upstairs. It's just something about downstairs I don't like. So I'm standing on the top rail. I was standing next to a dude. I was leaning on the top rail like this. And we just looking down at the dorm. We just talking about, because he didn't have a lot of time either. We was just talking about doing stuff when we get out, ways to make money and stay positive and productive.
Right.
And it was some guys watching TV. They was watching something now. We got 2 TVs, but one of them had went out. I don't know what happened to it. It broke some type of way, so it was only 1 TV left in the dorm. So you know that was more of an uproar down by itself. So there's 1 TV left in the dorm. So it was 2 guys sitting there. They was watching TV. And the one big dude, he walked up to the TV. He said something to them. He grabbed the remote. He changed it, sat down, started watching TV. Now, both of those guys that was sitting there watching TV, they walked off. They walked off cool, calm, casual. I promise you, I didn't think nothing of it. I just, you know, I'm like, shit, they don't want no issue with this big-ass, swole-ass nigga. So they just go on about their business.
Right.
So probably a couple seconds later, probably about 20 seconds later, both of them guys come back out the room. But they go different ways. Now, my homeboy, one of them went like towards the back of the dorm, one of them went towards the other side of the dorm where the TV was at, but the officer's booth is close to where the TV was at. So it appeared as if he was just walking over to the officer booth, like he was about to go ask the officer for something. So this was my first prison, so the dude I was sitting there talking to, he hit me on the elbow. And I looked over at him, he was like, this shit finna pop. Now when they say this shit finna pop, that means it's finna go down, something about to happen. So I'm like, what's finna pop? He like, look, nigga, pay attention, pay attention. So I went to looking, but I don't see nothing out of the ordinary. I see one guy sitting down watching TV, 2 guys walking around. So I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? And he said, both of them dudes just went in the room and put their shoes on and came back out the room. Now they walking around like ain't nothing going on. I hadn't even paid that no attention at first, that before they went in the room, they just had on regular slides. When they came back out the room, they had shoes on. So that's when I was like, okay, niggas put their shoes on. You know when there's gonna be some shit going on. That's when I was learning about this. So the dude that went over by the officer booth, it's a glass. So you could see over into the next dorm also. So he went doing like this. He wasn't talking to the officer. He was talking to somebody in the dorm over. And he was doing like little symbols and shit with his hand, I guess trying to spell out what was going on. So the other dude, he just still lingering around like he just walking laps back and forth. So I'm not, you know, I'm just trying to see like what the hell is going on. So The dude that went over by the officer booth, he came walking back and he looked at the dude at the end that was doing them rounds. He did like that. He nodded his head at him. So that dude came back walking towards this way, like towards the TV. The other dude was still by the officer booth, which is behind the big dude that was watching TV. And the dude that came from this way, he started getting loud, talking to the big dude that was watching TV. He was like, man, you know, he getting tired of you, bro. You think you running something, you think you somebody daddy. You ain't the only one that got a life sentence. We got life sentences too. You ain't finna keep on trying to handle us like this, handle us like that. Man. So, dude put the remote down real quick. He jumped up, snatched his shirt off. He like, so what's up? Hey, what's up? What you trying to do? What you want to hit? I'll knock your pussy ass. I'll knock your bitch ass out. I'll do this. I'll do that.
On that timing for real.
So the dude that's behind him by the booth, he's slowly like walking up, but he walking real slow behind dude. So the dude that was in front of him, he was like, we can hit, we can fight if that's what you want to do.
They ain't want to
so
fight,
the big
they want
dude
to kill
like,
you.
Squared up with him. And he went to walking up on him. Now, another thing I noticed, the guy that was walking up saying, we getting tired of you, he had his hand inside of his pocket. But it didn't appear as if he had a knife or nothing, because you usually could see a knife poking through somebody's pocket. You seen like a little small little bump or something.
Yeah.
Like,
this is one of his earlier videos, because he still said knife. Usually he'll say candy bar.
Like he had something barred up in his pocket or something. It didn't look like nothing major. So when the guy came up and went to squaring up, like, here, come on, nigga. Dude pulled something out of his pocket. And it looked like what it was a small, like an eye drops bottle. You know the little bottle you put eye drops in your eye, probably no bigger than that. It was one of them bottles. And he pulled it out his pocket. As soon as he pulled it out, the dude that was standing next to me said, he finna hit him with the bleach. So I'm still kind of lost. I'm like, the bleach? You know, I was just in prison. This is my first time, so I had no idea what the fuck none of this meant. I'm like, he about to hit him with the bleach. What, you trying to wash the nigga or something? I didn't know what was going on. So he took the little eye drops bottle and he ran closer to dude. They was already kind of close, but he ran a little closer to dude, pointed it at him and squeezed it. As soon as he squeezed it, shit started shooting out real hard, and it got in dude's eyes. When it got in his eyes, he started screaming so loud. He put both his hands over his face and he went to screaming. That's when I understood what my homeboy was telling me about the bleach. I said, oh, he done squirted bleach in the man's eyes. Now, anybody can fathom the pain that would bring if a person squirted bleach in your eyes. You know how sensitive the eyes is. Bleach is such a strong chemical, that shit'll fuck you up. So he shot the bleach in his eyes. As soon as the dude dropped his head and went to screaming and trying to run around, the dude that was behind him that went to the officer booth, he came running behind him. And on his hip, he lifted up his shirt and pulled out a knife. It was like a rod. And it probably was about that long, and it was very, very sharp. And the first thing he did, because he was a little shorter than the dude, he like jumped up some, jumped and stabbed him in the back of the head. He stabbed him in the back of the head. The blood immediately started running down. So that dude started screaming even louder, trying to run around. And the other dude just chased him. He just kept stabbing him so many times. That shit fucked me up just seeing it. It was so close. He stabbed him all in the neck. I think he stabbed him in the ear once. He stabbed him in the face. He even got him in the eye one time. And dude was still running around screaming. Now, by this point, everybody come out the room because they hear somebody screaming. Everybody run out their room and they looking. Don't nobody do nothing. Not one person got involved.
That nigga got a knife.
By that point, the officer had seen what was going on because I'm looking at her through the booth. You could see her on the radio. She probably calling the folks on the radio, telling them there's some shit going on. Man, there was so much blood in there. It looked like people was just pouring buckets of that shit out on the floor. He never stopped stabbing the dude. He kept stabbing him. While he was stabbing him, he was screaming, I'm tired of you. We tired of you. I'm tired of you, nigga. We tired of you. And, man, he had stabbed him so many times around the face. That's the only places he hit him. from the top of the head down to the neck. He didn't stab him nowhere else. That's all he was hitting. You could see the police on the walk through the windows running to the dorm. You could see them running. Probably about 10 seconds before they got there, the big dude dropped, fell straight on the floor.
He gone, gang.
He did have his hands like this at first. He had his hands over his eyes at first. Then he went to like trying to cover up the holes, and he dropped. His left hand fell from his eyes, and he didn't even try to cover it. But his right hand was still like on his neck, and his body was like jerking like that while he was on the floor.
Dying.
The other dude was still on top of him stabbing him. So the dude that squirted the bleach on him, he came and grabbed his friend. He was like, come on, bro. Come on, bro. And when he pulled him away, the dude that squirted the bleach looked down at him. He spit on him.
Oh, my
and
God.
Then he stumped on his head one time.
Oh, my God, bro. Spitting on somebody's like the most disrespectful shit you can do, bro. Because you treating them like the dirt you walk on. Like, think about it. Niggas shit on dirt. They piss on dirt. They spit on dirt. Cats shit in dirt. Dogs shit on... Bruh. Oh,
and then he walked off.
He
and
did that to
when the
himself,
police was running through the door, they came in screaming, lock down, everybody get behind the door, lock down. When I was walking back into my room, I looked at dude on the floor again, and his hand went from this
to down.
And it just dropped on the floor. His body wasn't jerking no more. And I was like, damn, they just killed this nigga. About fucking around with that TV. So we went in the room, we went on lockdown, the police came after they cleaned up that mess, got him out of there. They, they came and shook the dorm down, trying to find weapons, phones, drugs, all that type of stuff. And then probably like a week later, the officer came by, she was passing out stow sheets, and I don't remember her name, we just gonna say Ms. Jenkins or something, we just gonna throw a name out there. So I was like, Ms. Jenkins, when we coming off lockdown? And she was like, y'all just killed somebody in this dorm. Ain't nobody coming off lockdown right now. So I was like, you for real, that man really died? She said, yeah, they killed that boy, he dead. And when she walked off, I laid back in my bed, man. I really went to thinking like, damn, this man really just got his life violently took away from him about a fucking TV, about changing the channel on the TV. And that just opened my eyes up and made me look at shit so much different. It had me, I wanted to be so much more cautious after that. Like, damn, these guys really, because in my mind, it's not that serious. You know about a punk ass.
I feel like every prison, from what I know, because Jay Will, the prison he went to and the prison Bill went to, they work by different rules. Like the prison that Jay Will went to, if you were in a gang, like they had MS, it was an MS-13, they had MS-13 Bloods, Crips in there. If you was in a gang, the people who are neutral, you couldn't mess with no more. But in Bill's prison, if you was in a gang and other people was neutral, you could still mess with them. It's certain rules. There's rules in the system that prison goes by that you gotta live by. You gotta go within that system. If you don't, you end up like the nigga with a hole in his neck.
TV, I'm not about to kill you because you came to watch no channel. I'm the type person, I'm so humble, and I know how to maneuver and avoid stuff. If that was me watching TV that morning and dude came and changed the channel, I probably would have just walked away, or I might have just sat there just to get, I would have been talking to myself because I know it would have pissed me off, but I'd have been talking to myself like, bro, this not your shit. You don't live here. You gonna be home soon. But the two guys that did that to him, they got life without sentences.
See, but even doing something like that, it's kind of disrespectful, right? And Bill if he was in that situation and he didn't say anything, I feel like niggas would have started trying to take advantage of him because he just got bitch from the TV. He got his shit took, basically.
He wasn't worried about going home. So to them, it was that serious because it becomes a thing of reputation and respect in prison. And if you let your reputation get fucked up, then it's just like, okay, it's just like if a new person come in his dorm and they don't know you, and then he kicking it with you, and then I go tell the new dude, man, he a bitch. He was watching TV the other day. I just went and took the remote from him, changed the channel. He ain't
That's what
even
I'm
do shit. He ain't
saying.
even say shit. Then that dude might be feeling like you pussy, like you soft or something.
That's
So
what I'm
then if
saying,
he's
Bill.
dealing with you, he might deal with you like you soft, like you pussy. He might try you, might get mad one day and say anything that he wouldn't usually say to a person that he feel like is going to get very, very violent if need be, because he feel like this dude is a bitch. And then if he let that dude get away with it, the next dude might slap the shit out of him.
Facts.
And then if he don't do nothing about that, everybody in prison gonna look at you like, oh, that's just
He a
that's just
bitch.
little Tony bitch ass. He a bitch. He ain't talking about shit.
He ain't on
And people
nothing.
won't respect you. People will try to take stuff from you, talk to you any kind of way, handle you any kind of way. So for people that's in prison that don't got a long time, that's very dangerous, because it's like you trying to uphold a respect thing. You can't run around trying to prove yourself, because you know you can lose your life or you can catch a life sentence. But at the same time, you can't let nobody feel like you a bitch. So it's kind of like between a rock and a
What do
hard
you
place.
do for real?
But that's most definitely one of the craziest things I seen in prison. Y'all know, y'all just comment whatever, just let me know. You know, ask me questions and I'll make videos based off of that. I'm gonna just see how this one do, and I'll probably drop some more. But yeah, man, my name Bill. I'm from Detroit, and I ended up getting caught up in the Georgia prison. So y'all just hit me up or whatever. Hit me up on IG, TikTok, whatever the case is. I'm gone. Y'all have a good one.
Bill Feezzyy, man. If y'all fuck with his calm down, Bill. If y'all fuck with his content, bruh, I suggest y'all go, you know what I'm saying? Subscribe to his shit. You see, I'm subscribed. He make good content, bruh. He make great content. Him and Jay, I've been binging this shit for a minute now. But yeah, man, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like. Please share. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. I appreciate you.